What is going on, my people? Welcome back to another episode of the Jersey Fund, a sports gambling podcast. Your boy Petey back with the national pastime of Major League Baseball. Was going to try and do 30 clubs in 30 days, but we wanted to spread it out a little bit, give you all some time to digest some of what we're talking about. And I kind of started to realize that teams are starting to report to camp and elbow injuries were starting to mount up. Guys were starting to get picked up, getting moved around. So I'm going to spread them out a little bit more. Still going to get you all 30 teams before the start of the season, well before the season, so you can place your bets too. But I just wanted to kind of spread it out a little bit. And I recorded the Red Sox episode, was going to go ahead and do the Cubs episode today. And I had no volume on the Red Sox one. So we're going to redo the Red Sox one. We're going to do it better, right, than last time, right, guys? Probably not. It was a banger, but still going to do it. Still going to rip it. Not going to change anything that I said in there. I'm just probably going to forget things now. But I still have it all written down, so don't you all worry. Anyways, doing the Red Sox one today. Going to double up and do the Cubs one, so when you see me in the same shit, still walking later today, that is why. So, without further ado, let's jump on into the Boston Red Sox. I've got a bunch of shit going on behind me here, so we're going to turn around and go the other way. That way we don't get blasted with fire trucks and ambulances and other shit. But, yeah, trying to be less of a fat fuck, even though it's kind of hard to do because I really like beer and pizza. But we're walking today, so when I'm out of breath halfway through the Cubs episode, that's why. But anyways, let's talk about the Boston Red Sox. Absolute childhood favorite of mine, Tessie on the GameCube for MVP baseball was just the fucking best. Fucking Tessie, Manny Ramirez, that whole era was fucking awesome. But the Red Sox have had their ups and downs, you know, in recent years. They obviously had some good years with Mookie, Poppy, DP, some fun teams there, but they've been in a little rough patch, especially for a team with, you know, the history that they have, and especially a team that is constantly battling the Yankees. The Yankees have been pretty fucking good. Obviously not Yankee quite good, you know, winning World Series good, but way better than what the Red Sox have been. However, I think they got a pretty good club this year, and the numbers reflect that. Plus 1,500 to win the World Series. Their current over-under for wins is at 87.5. So two of the higher numbers, I believe, last time I checked that World Series odds was right around 7th. So pretty good odds there to win the World Series. And 87.5 wins is no joke. If you can win 90 games in Major League Baseball, you're pretty fucking good. And they're right there. So the reason why I think people are high on them, and the reason why I am high on the Boston Red Sox, is because of that damn pitching staff, man. They are loaded in the starting rotation. Let me just read off the list of names currently in there. Garrett Crochet, obviously damn near Cy Young candidate, former White Sox, Ranger Suarez, great addition. Brian Bayo, very slept upon right-handed arm. Nasty, heavy sinker baller. So good arm there with the short porch and right. Sonny Gray, another good sinker ball arm. Good arm there for the Red Sox, again, with that short porch in both left and right. Johan Oviedo is probably going to slot in and make some starts this year. Pretty solid guy right there. I'm a big Oviedo fan. He's kind of been up and down throughout his career, but man, when he flashes, he flashes. He's got some electric stuff, really good fastball coming over from Pittsburgh. Should be a good piece for them too, to kind of buy some time until some other guys are ready. Tanner Houck had been a really solid arm for them. He pitched through a lot of injuries last year, coming off an all-star season. Ended up, he had some pretty serious issues with his elbow, so he went under the knife. Should be back sometime August, September. He had a big breakthrough actually just yesterday in his throwing program, so things are moving well there. They still have Cutter Crawford. He's also banged up. We'll see when he comes back. And then they've got two young studs in Tolley and Early. Early obviously came on the scene last year and was unbelievable. So I mean, what I just named there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 guys that legitimately, I don't think any of them would slot into anything below a 3 on basically any MLB team outside of, the top 3, 4 staffs. So this Red Sox team is absolutely loaded at the top there in their rotation. And that's a big reason why these numbers are so high and analysts are so high on them. So I think that you got a lot of really good fantasy choices there. I think Garrett Crochet might be a tough one to snag early because, again, you're going to be snagging him around the likes of Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, some of these other guys. And, I think Crochet is a stud, but can he, hold up? He's just been shifted back into the starting role a few years ago. So I'm not saying stay away from Crochet because I freaking love him, but he does have some risk. But I think some of these, mid-late round guys like a Ranger, Bayo, Gray, even take some flyers some weeks on Oviedo, and then obviously definitely take, some flyers on earlier in a Tolley if you're in a dynasty league or if you're in some kind of keeper with NA spots, stuff like that. I think they're all very valid guys to take. And then, just in terms of a winning ball game type of thing, I love their bullpen too. I think Garrett Whitlock is a really solid arm. Obviously, you can shift any of those starters into a longer kind of fireman type of role, which could be nice. Justin Slayton is solid out there. And then Aroldis Chapman turned back the freaking clock, man. He is throwing 105 again. He's fucking yoked. Like, he's 38 years old, and he's still arguably the best closer in baseball. A lot of people are putting him on number 1. I wouldn't. Mason Miller, fucking stud. A couple other guys, studs. But, yeah, this Red Sox team, in terms of pitching, is going to be hard to compete with. So I'm high on them there, but then I'm high on their offense, too. They've made a couple of recent moves, one of them in the past week, which was another big one for them, going out and getting Caleb Durbin. They offloaded a really promising young arm in Kyle Harrison because, like we just said, they have a million fucking stud arms. So Caleb Durbin's going to come in and you watch. Dustin Pedroia light, man. He's going to come in here and be just like DP. I think DP was listed at like 5'8". Durbin, they measured him. He's 5'6.5" for a strikeout thing. So gotta love that. Little scrappy grinder up there at the top of the order coming over from Milwaukee. I think he's going to be a nice addition for them. They added Wilson Contreras in the offseason. He's not going to have to catch anymore because they've got Narvaez and a couple other young guys coming up throughout the system that are going to be there. So Wilson Contreras slotting in at first base. Dude was already raking. I think he's only going to become better offensively because he doesn't have to worry about calling the game and everything else that comes with catching. So I like him holding down first base. You got Marcelo Meyer, who honestly would be a shortstop on a lot of teams in the league, but they got Trevor Story there. So solid left side of the infield too. They might slot Durbin over at third, put Marcelo at second, Story at second. They could really freaking play puzzle pieces with those guys and, figure out who is playing the best ball at what position in September, and let's ride. So I love their infield. Then you go out to their outfield. Ceddanne Rafaela, okay, going to nerd out a little bit here, but a lot of his advanced stats show that he should have a unreal season. He cut down on strikeouts. He's got insane ball exit. He cut down on his whiff rate. I think this guy's going to have a big year. I'm high on him even in fantasy. Definitely high on him in dynasty. So he's going to play every day. His defense is elite, one of the best center fielders in the game. So you're not going to have to worry about that either. I'm buying stock into Ceddanne Rafaela. Definitely buying stock into Duran. There were talks of them moving him this offseason. They didn't have to. I think he's going to be solid playing either corner outfield spot or probably DH because he kind of stinks in the outfield. So they'll probably DH there. Wilyer Abreu still probably going to be out in left or right field most of the time. There was even a rumor that got dropped a couple days ago that he's not going to be platooning anymore. He's a lefty, used to only face righties. If he's not platooning, he may carry some fantasy value because he popped 25 ding-dongs last year, plays gold glove defense. So I get why you want to keep him in the lineup because of how good his defense is. So Wilyer Abreu could be a fun fantasy pick. And then Roman Anthony's a stud too. So they are just loaded out there. I'm buying Roman Anthony stock. I think he's going to be an everyday corner outfielder there too. I'm really buying stock in a lot of this team. I'm going to be drafting some of these guys maybe a bit earlier than others because I think this offense is going to end up being elite. And I think you all know kind of where I'm going with this. I'm going over 87.5 wins. A big thing to get to 90 games in baseball is, number one, staying healthy. If your team can stay healthy and you already have a pretty solid roster and you've committed a lot of money to it, you can win upwards of 80, 85 games, right? And then kind of go from there. The nice thing about this team is even if they aren't 100% healthy, I still think they're going to be pretty damn good. Again, we went through the 9 starting pitchers that they have. They have a solid bullpen. They've got guys that I didn't even mention, like Christian Campbell, who a ton of people were fired up for because he had an unreal first month, kind of fell apart, but he's still a solid infielder. Masataka Yoshida was one of the bigger Japanese signings a few years ago. He doesn't even really have a spot on this team. Tristan Casas is hurt. He was like a huge fantasy guy the past couple seasons. Everyone's saying breakout, breakout, breakout. He doesn't have a spot. So like these guys are solid. I think this group is going to be able to break that 87.5 win total. Do I think they can win the World Series? Absolutely. When you have a rotation like that, that's what matters in October. I think they're going to be able to compete offensively with the other teams. So if this top half of the rotation is healthy and pitching their best baseball in October, this team can absolutely win the World Series. So I'm high on the Red Sox, over 87.5 wins. Buy stock in, honestly, pretty much all of their offense. Consider overpaying even for guys potentially like a Wilson Contreras or a Roman Anthony or a Ceddanne Rafaela. And yeah, at the end of the day, taking this team to potentially be a World Series winner. So the only piece that I got left from all of this is my best bet, which I had a hard time finding for this Red Sox team because, if you can't tell, I like them. I like them a lot. I think that they are a really good ball club, and I think there was a lot of value out there in a lot of different places. Trevor Story, 70-plus RBIs was good. 80-plus RBIs looked pretty good to me. Crochet strikeout totals, Ranger Suarez strikeout totals. There was a lot of plays that I could have gone, but the direction I'm going to go is a little plus 130 play on Wilson Contreras to have 80-plus RBI. This dude's going to plug and play right in the heart of that order. I don't care if he's hitting 3, 4, 5. When you get to hit behind Duran, Anthony, Meyer, Story, Durbin, I mean, all these guys who get on base, he's going to drive in 80 runs. He's a good offensive bat. He's a bona fide run producer, even as a catcher. So bump him over to first base and tell, hey, worry about just bashing the baseball. Yeah, I'm all over Wilson Contreras, 80-plus RBIs. I really like that play. I see no reason why he doesn't reach that number as long as he is healthy, because I think no matter what, he's going to have guys on base in front of him. So over 87.5 wins, sprinkle that plus 1,500 World Series, and then a best bet of Wilson Contreras, 80-plus RBIs at plus 130 on DraftKings. So again, you're going to be seeing the same fit here in about 30 seconds when I pause this video, flip the page, and fire up the Cubs, but you'll be seeing that one probably a few days after. Obviously, our edit guy does a great job, Mr. Sam Lavin, so appreciate him, but hopefully it makes me look good because I see a lot of double chin in this, but whatever. See you in a few.